Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, respected dignitaries, our guest, Dean ma'am, Associate Dean sir, esteemed faculty members, and dear participants. So, ma'am is here with us, and it is my great privilege to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished resource person, Professor Dr. Purvi Pokhariyal ma'am. We are deeply honored to have her with us for today's session of the Faculty Development Program on Artificial Intelligence, Justice, Research, and Legal Education. Ma'am is a renowned academician, legal expert, and administrator with over 25 years of rich experience in teaching, research, and institutional leadership. She currently serves as the campus director and director of the Lok Nayak Jayaprakash Narayan National Institute of Criminology and Forensic Science, Delhi campus, National Forensic Sciences University, NFSU. She also holds the portfolio of Director Academics Research and Consultancy at NFSU and Dean of the School of Law, Forensic Justice and Policy Studies. Her area of expertise include criminal justice, forensic justice, technology law, artificial intelligence and law, cybercrime, investigation, and constitutional law. NAM has pioneered several innovative legal education programs, including the BSc LLB in data science and law, uh, and the LLM in cybercrime investigation and cyber law. She has also held leadership position over 15 years. She has been conferred with many prestigious awards such as the Senior Social Scientist Award by the Indian Society of Criminology, the Best Law Professor Award by Business School Affairs and Devang Mehta National Education Awards, and the Wonder Woman Award by the Times Globe. Internationally, she has served as visiting faculty at Hof University, Germany, and Tashkent State University of Law, among others, thereby contributing immensely to global legal scholarship. We are indeed privileged to have her grace this session, and we look forward to her invaluable insights on the transformative role of artificial intelligence in law and justice. So we welcome you, ma'am, and please.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Uh, at the outset, I must compliment your university and the school for organizing this faculty development program on a very contemporary topic. And special compliments to the Dean, Professor Namita Joshi. Thank you for having me over here. So, today, when we talk about artificial intelligence, this is a buzzword. I think every day we are using these AI in our regular conversation. Whenever we are discussing about technology, whenever we are discussing about the students' learning, whenever we are discussing about the students' assignments, and whenever we have to assess those assignments and exams, we are all concerned about the ethical integrity and the quality of the assignments which the students are submitting, because we all believe that nowadays there are so many AI software and AI app available, including the Chat GPT and DeepSeek and so many and so forth. So we all have been grappling with the issues of students' quality of learning, assessment, and assignment. That is on one side, we being the teachers. On the other side, when we talk about technology integration in whatever we have been doing, we all are very curious, and I think I have seen so many people talking about how AI is going to replace so many jobs and how AI is going to make so many areas irrelevant, including the teachers, judges, lawyers, engineers, managers, personal assistant, and so many other profession. So I mean, AI is something which we have been thinking, we have been assuming, and we have been worrying so much. And today, when we are having an exclusive program focusing on AI, legal education, research, and justice, we have to think aloud, because in a way that, if you look at what has been transpired in last 1 year, what we have been talking about AI for the last couple of years, and what has actually transpired in last 1 year is very different. And we have seen that AI is progressing very, very rapidly. And especially the other day, I was discussing with so many actors and actresses, and all of you also must have read in the newspaper pertaining to the personality rights that all the film actors and actresses are going to register because of the issues of the deep fake. You have your own, I mean, there may be a computer generated voice and your pictures, the entire video and audio getting generated artificially with the help of the AI, in what we call as a deep fake, and as assuming that it is something being camouflage as a person A or person B. So these are some certain very serious concerns which we have been grappling with. So at this juncture, what I would believe, I mean, what I feel that we all are standing at the crossroad. We are standing at the crossroad of the fourth industrial revolution, what we call is an industry 4.0. Now, this industry 4.0 is in the post VUCA world, what we call is a VUCA 2.0 world, now, which is a post global pandemic scenario. Because as we all have witnessed, the global pandemic has changed so many things, and global pandemic has a greater impact on the mind shift of different innovators, technocrats, and general public at large. So this VUCA 2.0 world is what we call is, it's not volatile, but it's a virtual world. Like earlier, we used to say V stands for volatile, but now V stands for virtual. uh, U is very uncertain. We live in a very uncertain world. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. When we used to say C stands for complex, it's very, very complex situation that what we have been grappling with. So this is a very vibrant, uncertain, complex, and I would say astounding world. This is something, and in these VUCA 2.0, when the industry 4.0 revolution is taking place, whatever we have been doing, the way the fish, in the fashion that what we have been doing before a year, that the entire operation mechanism is going to change, because it has a greater impact on the way in which we think, the way in which we write, the way in which we communicate, the way in which we teach, the way in which we learn. So it's something which is a very, very different world. This is an fourth industrial revolution, wherein we have been talking, the buzzword of this fourth industrial revolution is AI, machine learning, natural language processing, what we call is an NLP, big data, and all these technologies, that they are not only shaping the Indian economies or the global economies, but it's also shaping the way in which we interact, the way in which the human relationship is governed. So it's a very, very different world, wherein there's so much of reimagination of different operational activities that what we have been doing. Now, specifically when we talk about AI into justice delivery system, first I'll talk about AI in justice delivery system, because as some of you may be already aware, when we talk about justice delivery system, we have been talking about the algorithmic justice. Algorithmic justice, wherein when we have been talking about that, like the cases like MACP, motor accident cases, wherein the interim compensation is already been interim compensation is to be provided 50,000, and there is an equation, there is a formula which is already fixed by the Supreme Court. So why we need to have a trial of the motor accident cases? Can we have some kind of, the information is to be fit in the software, and automatically on the very first day the 50,000 compensation is being awarded, and then what would be the total compensation amount, that is the information is to be fed into the formula, and automatically the compensation amount is being generated. So do we need lawyers, do we need judges, do we need a court infrastructures to begin with these kind of cases wherein there is no preponderance of probability, and there is not a rocket science. We have a very settled law how the compensation is to be calculated. Everything, the formula is very, very settled, the law is settled. There is no uprooting or upsetting this trend. So can we have an algorithm to be designed, algorithm to be created, through which we can have algorithmic justice in this case kind of cases? Likewise, there are so much of environmental crimes, or I would say the environmental crimes that includes the pollution cases. Now, in if you look at the Central Pollution Control Board and the NGT, and in this judgment, the kind of a pollution which is to be which the kind of a pollutions has caused a kind of an effect, and accordingly there also the formula is being set. So can we have these kind of a cases also to be dealt with the algorithmic justice mechanism? So these kind of a discourse that would have been going on for the last couple of months, and then probably there has been an increasing acceptability, as most of you must have read the newspaper, the very powerful statement the economic advisor of the Honorable Prime Minister which has given yesterday. And that's such a powerful statement, that if at all there is any stumbling block to the Viksit Bharat path, then that's the stumbling block is the Indian judicial system. So, when it comes to the Indian judicial system, as we all know, there is a huge pendency. And if you do read the World Justice Project report of 2019, it says that there are 5.2 billion people on this earth who have an unmet justice needs, and that includes a greater percentage from India. So access to justice and pendency of the cases, that has been an age-old problem we have been grappling with. Chief Justice after Chief Justice would come, would try to, streamline the processes, but the result is not very hopeful or encouraging. So in this scenario, there is a serious amount of thought, and the actions are going to be roped in, wherein we are introducing algorithmic justice in some cases, if not in some of the areas, because where the law is settled, where there is not a very big rocket science, and only few information is required to be entered into, why can't we have this AI into justice mechanism? Probably today is like what, 21st September, maybe 3 years, 6 months, 3 months, 6 months down the line, or maybe by next year when we talk about this thing, that there is already going to be there such kind of an experimentation in some part of the country, at least in some pocket of the course. That's what my impression is, looking to the kind of actions and studies, and the kind of meetings, and the kind of strategies are getting built up around this area. That's what I'm being hopeful that this is something which is going to come now, because that will help us to ease out the pendency, and this will also help us to ease out the procedural rigidity. The entire judicial system is getting paralyzed due to the procedural rigidity somewhere. And now, how do we ease out? How do we break? And how do we make the entire system flexible, integrating the technology? If you talk about the new criminal law, at some relevant provisions, if you have have noticed, it's all about integrating science and technology, because somewhere we believe that the technology is a great enabler. Not only this, but the technology is a great equalizer. Technology, would really help us to maintain equity and equality and the transparency which we are really striving for in the justice delivery system. So in this case, if the technology is being appropriately deployed, then there are great possibilities that the system would have an automation and system would work more efficiently. I just give the example of section 105 of the BNSS. Now, when we talk about the search and seizure, and there have been innumerable examples and cases wherein during the search and seizure, the kind of the kind of, I would say, the misappropriation and the kind of I'm finding the appropriate word. Uh, I mean, the search and seizure has been very, very opaque process. But then now, when we are making it mandatory to have audio, video recording of the entire search and seizure process, not only this, but this audio recording is to be immediately in a real time, is to be transmitted to the main office through the blockchain technology, so that it cannot be tampered with, the recording cannot be tampered with. Now, these kind of an arrangement in the justice delivery system, in the investigative process, probably would serve would go a long way and serve the major purpose. So integrating AI and other technology in the justice delivery system is definitely is going to help us. The other, so this is one about the algorithmic justice. In few pockets we can really deploy. The second is that integrating technology would really help us to maintain transparency and to improve the efficiency. The third and the most important thing is all about the case management. There are so many high courts who have already been tried, especially the Delhi High Court, wherein there are huge pendency, and the second appeal and the first appeal must have been light from 2000, 1994, 1981, you don't know. So now, if you are digitalizing every case file, that would really help us to effectively scheduling all your cases, and this will help us to have not only the case management, but would also help to improve the court management. So case management and court management with the help of AI software, there are so many high courts which have been already using this thing, and that help them to um, categorize and analyze the number of appeals, and how do we schedule this, how do you scheduling and rostering those appeal, that help us to rearrange the entire system. And then this is the kind of result that at least we have seen in Gujarat High Court, in Delhi High Court, is quite very encouraging. The third and the other important point is all about the predictive analysis. I'm sure some of you may be already aware about the Compass software. The Compass software, which is being used in United States of America in order to predict the recidivism. Now, the the software is having the database of all the people who have a tendency to commit crime, or who has been charged with one or the other criminal cases. They may not be behind bars, they may be behind bars, or they may be acquitted, but there is one point in time some charge was leveled against the person. So all the data and their psychological cognitive features are being fed into the software, and then they can predict the recidivism, that what has been the tendency. There are that is being divided into three layers: the low risk criminal, the medium risk criminal, and the high risk criminal. So meaning thereby what has been the tendency and the potential of these people to commit a similar kind of or the other kind of a crime in future. And these kind of a recidivism prediction is very, very crucial, especially in the cases of sexual assault, and especially those who are into perverted criminal, and those who are into repeatedly alleging some or the other kind of assault against women and children. So this prediction software, which is available in US, but then this is designed on the US populations. Likewise, in India also now there has been an attempt, and the work is already undergoing, wherein all the datas of uh, criminals are getting accumulated. Their psychological analysis and the forensic psychological analysis is undertaken, and accordingly the prediction based upon the low risk, high risk, and medium risk is being created. And this kind of a software would really help us to ensure that what are the rehabilitation plan, because at times what happens that those who are behind the bars, not they are not always a bad people, but then they may be a victim of some kind of a circumstances, as Justice Krishna Iyer used to say, even Mahatma Gandhi used to say that not all every what he used to say, that every uh, scene has a every sinner has a past, and every criminal has a future, something like that. I'm not able to recollect exactly that word, but accordingly, what are the rehabilitation? Generally the prison is not the place of punishment. Prison is a place for rehabilitation. So what are the rehabilitation plan is not only engaging them in the carpentry work, or some kind of a vocational guidance case. Is all about changing the mind and the heart. So what are the interventions plan which are required? You cannot have one plan which is, yes, every saint is a past and every sinner is a future, exactly. So you cannot have one plan fits into the all people. you know every person is a different individual, a unique individual. What are the rehabilitation plan which are required to be deployed for each criminal in the prison is something which can only be analyzed with this kind of a prediction software like Compass. Now Compass, as I said, is rooted, is been tested on the American population, because their nature, I mean, the fabric and culture and everything is very, very different than what we Indians are. So we also need to have some kind of a prediction software through which we can not only anticipate the hardened criminal, but we also can have some kind of a rehabilitation plan design for each criminal. Because at the end of the day, is the punishment is not only going to end the story. At the end of the day, what is important is that how do we control the crime? We are how to prevent the crime. After crime is getting committed, and you know trial is going on, and punishing the person is not, it should not be the goal of any rule of law country, or for any country who is well versed with the democratic ideals. What is more important, that what are the interventions plan for prevention of crime, and that is something which is very, very effectively can be carried out with the different kind of an artificial intelligence intervention. Because at the end of the day, AI is based on all kind of an LLMs, and now we have such a huge data is available. Now data is to be organically to be fed, organically to be arranged, and then somewhere we need to train this data for a desired outcome. So somewhere these kind of exercise, and this kind of an, I would say, initiative is also going on when it comes to the Indian justice delivery system. Not only this, but if you have read the NCRB, the National Crime Record Bureau's initiative of the face recognition, we have one act which is being passed in, that was the CRPI Act, Criminal Identification Act, wherein there are certain amount of there are certain data of each criminal. I would not use the word criminal. There are certain data which is to be collected for every person who has, against whom the FIR is being lodged. Forget about whether the person is being convicted or can be acquitted, or the trial did not happen, FIR is being quashed, whatever it may be the case. But once the FIR is being charged, FIR is being lodged against the person, then there are certain data that includes the DNA, the physical measurement, and then the Irish, and you must have read this legislation. Now these data and this data would really help us, because if we really wanted to have want to have the preventive programs, the preventive measures program. So once we have this database ready of all the people who have a potential to cause any kind of an illegal activity, so data can be matched anywhere from the country, which is available on server for everyone to map and measure and compare. And in this case, probably our greater plans of the preventive mechanism would be able to would be able to fructify. And this is how the facial recognition plan and for that matter the NAFIS, the fingerprint plan. So the NAFIS is also all about how through the help of fingerprint, using the AI software, for across the country, we can identify the person. Likewise, once we have all the data of all the 5 major characteristics of DNA, Irish, fingerprint, then probably the preventive measures can be appropriately deployed. So this is one of the other examples that how AI can come to rescue for the rescue operations of the preventive mechanism. So this is what I wanted to focus. The other aspect of AI is pertaining to, as we all are aware about, the Supreme Court initiative. When Justice Chandrachud was there, there was a Supreme Court E-Committee. Now the Supreme Court E-Committee has, if you remember, has developed a kind of a mechanism which is known as the SUPACE. Now, this SUPACE, which is a Supreme Court portal for assistance in court efficiency. The abbreviation of SUPACE is Supreme Court portal for the assistance of the for the assistance in court efficiency. This is the abbreviation. Now, this is an AI-driven tool for the judges for research and case management. Because at times, what happens that when any case is being argued, what has been the previous precedent, what has been laid down by the Supreme Court, or for that matter any other high court on a given law point, on a given law issue. So this particular software really comes handy to all the judges to carry out their own research, that on which judgment they should rely upon, on which judgment they have to concur with, on which judgment they would like to take a different, they would like to take a departure, on which line of thought they are taking a departure. So likewise, instead of referring the old judgments through hard copy, or then just doing the search through Manupatra or SCC online, the SUPACE would really, once you put a legal issues, all the previous judgments, all the precedent would come to your screen, and that really help us for the judges to assist in the appropriate decision-making process. So this is something which is very important. Apart from that, there are so many AI software which the judges today are using. These softwares are known as ROS Intelligence, ROSS, ROS Intelligence, Case Mind, Manupatra AI. So there are few software which is really revolutionizing the entire legal research process, not for only the researcher and the court clerks, but also for the judges. That really helps very handy to them. And then there are some of the Canadian models wherein the predictive tools are being used, and especially I would say in UK also. I mean, in UK and US, there are some of the predictive tools which are used before they file a bail, especially the bail application. So all your data is getting fitted in the software, your judge's name and everything, because once you put a judge name, their entire ideology would also, because that's what we all know, because no matter what my upbringing, what what we known as um, American realism, that's what is known as legal realism, where no matter what, how hard I may try to be neutral, impartial, but my upbringing, my culture, my socioeconomic background would always have an impact on my thought process or on my decision making process as a judge I'm talking about. So in that case, there are so many such kind of an what you call such kind of he's a liberal judge, he's this judge, we have all kind of predictions. But then there are certain specifically in US, UK and Canada, there are very scientifically designed predictive justice softwares which are very very prevalent. So before they file a PIL or before they file a bail application, they would they would run through their petition through the software to ensure that what is the percentage of probability of getting the bail or getting this PIL being accepted, or whether you are going to get some kind of because when it's a class action litigation, you have a huge stake in a sense of some kind of compensation. So what level of I mean, what is the amount, or what, how much compensation that you are going likely to get for all these things? These predictive justice softwares are very very prevalent. And I think what I'm being told that in India also there are such kind of softwares which are already prepared, but then it's no one is ready to testify it. So that's the reason that they are further I would say there are further work and research is going on. And as I said, as we speak today on September 25, probably by December 25 or January 26, we're going to have such kind of technology in India also available. So this is all about, I think, the justice delivery system. There are more thing about AI in justice is all about the digital forensics system, because as we all know, in forensics, AI is playing a very vital role because as- I'll just give the simple example that suppose ED or DRI or GST intelligence, anybody, if they are confiscating after the raid, if they are confiscating their digital gadgets, including the laptops and computers or whatever. So if from their hard drive, there are huge amount of data which is to be extracted. Once the data gets extracted, you never know, because there are millions and millions of files. It becomes humanly difficult and very very impossible to identify which file would have some kind of issues, how to identify. And that's the reason that the entire investigation process takes days and months together. Now with these AI in digital forensic software, there are certain programs which you run through which, from the I would say from 1 TB data or 3 TB data, whichever you have in terms of your files, you can get exactly zeroing down. There are 10 files which may be an important thing for the purpose of your case investigation. So AI and digital forensic is being used in a big way when it comes to India. Apart from that, I would say this facial recognition software, as you all know, now we have in the form of a CC, in the form of smart city project. Some of you must have read about the smart city project. Now, in the form of smart city project, there are thousands and thousands of camera that are CCTV camera, which are being deployed at the public places and also the private places. When I say private places, meaning that by the private shop owner, or the schools, colleges, shop owners, multiplexes, all these places that are this kind of this thing available, even on the roads and highways and everywhere. Now, suppose there is a very very crowded place. Like I give the example of Chandni Chowk in New Delhi, which at times becomes very crowded place. Now there are at any given point in time there are thousands people who must be moving from one place on one particular point on the road. Now if something that happens on the road, how do we identify the culprit? So now we have a CCTV camera having an AI software inbuilt into this thing, wherein if you give a certain characteristics that, okay, I need a person who's wearing a black goggles, like only this. So immediately the AI software would only identify those people wearing a black gas. So from 1,000, you are zeroing down to only 5 or 10 who's having the black goggle. Or for that matter, you need only, because if you, it's so easy to install CCTV, but if you really want to monitor the CCTV footage and to see, sticking your eyes on the screen, that what is happening at every moment, it becomes extremely difficult and very challenging. So in the CCTV analytics also, there are so many AI based software which are getting used, which helps the investigation quite handy. So this is, I think, what I would have to talk about AI. And as I said, some of you may be already aware. When it comes to India is gearing up in a big way, especially in the justice delivery system, for integrating AI at every level, because India is going to host the world's AI conference in February 26th. As some of you may be aware, the last conference was being organized by France, and our Prime Minister was there. This time, this AI conference, the World AI Conference, is getting hosted by India in February 26th. So India is gearing up. There are so many such projects going on, wherein we need to showcase our strength in AI, and how the AI is getting used in hospital, in healthcare, in justice delivery system, and in governance in different ways. So when in February 26th, you'll come across many such exciting innovations in AI that you're going to witness, and there are so many of them would be in the area of law and justice. So this is all about the justice delivery system. Now, if I talk about AI in legal education, so what I have seen is there are two sets of people. Whenever I interact with my colleagues from academia, they are so much worried about this chat gpt, because they are worried about chat gpts. Is that whatever we say, the students are using this thing, and it's they are worried that students will not learn anything. It's going to be, our students are going to have a big problem. And there are so many such kind of an apprehension and inhibitions which is shared by different faculty members. But then what I always believe that any new thing, if it is accepted as an opportunity, is all about how do we use this opportunity. So any new things, if we accept as an opportunity to get it used in a teaching learning process, so it's all up to we teachers. This, it is a challenge to us teachers, that how do we consider this thing as an opportunity, and how do we convert this opportunity in facilitative in the learning process. That's a key issue before us. Otherwise, I consider this thing that this is AI in education, or for that, not only legal education, any stream education is very powerful in terms of it offers a personalized learning. The thing is that we deal with the Gen Z. Now, one of the important characteristics of the Gen Z is that they know about themselves so well, and they are very, very clear what do they really want. So what their expectations from the world, their expectations from the teachers are very, very clear. I mean, it's not like, I still remember in our days, or before, 30 years, if someone asks you what are you going to do, they don't know, let's see what happens, what my parents would say, what my family members would say. But then that's not the case with the Gen Z. They are very, very clear. They know how do they learn, they know what teacher they like, they know through which they would be able to, their metacognition ability. The metacognition means, knowing how do they learn, their understanding about the learning processes is very, very sound. And that's the reason that these kind of AI intervention in the teaching learning process would help us to develop then the personalized learning processes, personalized learning pedagogy, personalized learning material. And that is a great advantage. And we have to promote this kind of an advantage. That's what I believe. And then how do we create a simulative environment with the help of this chat gpt, perplexity, whatever you use, deepseek, instead of giving the instead of asking them, like simple example, if I want to offer an assignment to the students about, let's say, I would say, okay, uh, uh, explain me that how the constitution of India is getting amended. So this is a question I really want to ask. So they will immediately go to the chat gpt, and they will immediately within fractions of seconds may give an answer. But instead of asking these questions, I may ask the students to create a prop, which kind of a prop which is required to be, if you want this answer, what kind of a prop that you would design uh, through the different when you are using not only chat gpt but deepseek or perplexity, but all kind of a software, AI software that you are using. So helping them to think critically. So this is also the kind of they are engaged in the thought process that if I want this answer, what is the right questions to ask? And at the end of the day, inquiry based learning and asking the right question is a very important thing, because that asking the right questions gives me the clarity about the things. My I mean, it's my individual and personal opinion, not necessarily you all agree with me, but I believe that all kind of an AI software we should promote and we should use in teaching learning process along with the students. And then we have to use it creatively, so that at the end of the day, what we really want our students to be able to do, we want them to be the critical thinkers, we want them to be creative. We don't need their we need their cognitive understanding. We don't need content. What is written in section 105 in BNSS, if they don't know it, that's fine. They can refer this particular provision at any given point in time. They will have a book whenever they go for the court or anything. They are not required to have a rote learning. What is more important is that how do they become an effective problem solver? How do they become an effective critical thinkers? How do we think differently? How do they offer a different solution to a given set of problem? So this is how we want our students to be able to do. Otherwise, I always tell to all my teachers, all my colleagues over here, why do they come to our class? When they have isn't so much of information which is already available in all the kind of internet, why do they come to my class? What I'm going to teach is already there in different videos more effectively than what I can teach. Then why we are compelling them to come to the class in the name of attendance, if we are not going to give them something different which is not available on the internet? So this is our moral to engage them in the learning process in such a way, so that in the class is not only about my teaching them or my presenting my ppt to them, is all about how do I engage them in the learning process, so that they are ready to ask the questions. They are ready to think in different way, not in the way in which I want them to ask the questions. I have seen so many students, so many teachers, they would say they may not like the students if the students think in a different direction than what the teacher is thinking. मैंने तो ये क्लास में बताया था, आपके आंसर में यही होना चाहिए. So they don't, I mean, I've seen so many of them if I mean, because some, especially in the problem-based questions, we all give the problem, right? It's not always a direct question in the exam. When we give a problem, some of the students may have a different line of directions, different line of arguments. But then at the time of making this question paper, the teacher might not have thought these line of arguments, but the student do bring this line of arguments. Then I've seen teachers, they won't appreciate. So somewhere we also need to think and reflect and introspect ourselves, that we want our students not to be a puppet and the parrots. We want them to be an independent thinkers, a critical thinker. And that's the reason that unless and until you engage them in the class by posing different kind of questions, by asking them, you have all the gazette, electronic gazette with you, you find out the answers with me. You find out the solution for this problem. And this is how we engage them, and we help them to use the technology for the critical thinking. So my take is that we all need to have our own creative ways of helping our students to use this AI in the teaching learning process in a very effective way. Because this is how we can be their mentor, facilitators, and we can help them to be the critical thinkers. Then when it comes to the research part, I AI in legal research, that's the third part of the topic. Now there also, there are apprehension that, if you give the assignment, if you give the essay, they would immediately use a different kind of a software and they will submit. They will not write it their own. Yes, I agree, they will not write it their own. So what could be the uh, I mean, how do we use AI for the legal research, which is a valid, uh, which can be more ethical and morally sound ways? I believe that mm, you know mm, giving exposure to the students. What is happening as of now, students are learning all these platforms, all these software at their own. There should be a systematic training, that how do I use, how can we use different kind of a AI tool for the legal research. So instead of discouraging them to use this tool, there should be a systematic training which is to be made available by the school, college, or the university, so that the legal research is something which is not cut, copy, paste, but they are using this software after understanding the content of what they are doing. So this is what my take on AI, and because there are so many such kind of tools, the AI tools which are available for the legal research, and we should largely promote this kind of tool, and we should largely use this kind of a tool, because this is like a this is like AI is like that kind of daughter-in-law, I would say. You can't reject it uh, to uh, to 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 a great extent. You have to accept it, because at the end of the day, even if you don't accept it today, it's going to hovering out for all the activities in a few years down the line. It's better we accept it. It's better we understand the limitations. It's better we understand the ethical and moral uh, concerns about using of AI, and we adopt, we learn, we relearn. Because for us teachers also, relearning becomes very imperative. Unlearning becomes very imperative when it comes to the usage of AI for teaching, learning, and research. So I think I stop here, and I would prefer to have, because I don't believe in lecturing to a great extent in the class. I believe in more engagement. So I stop here, and I would be happy to interact with all of you if you have any questions. Thank you.
Dear participants, is there any query or any question regarding the session?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Sir gave me a valuable knowledge of me and all participants. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ma'am,
I
I have
think
a query to ask
ma'am's
here.
okay.
Ma'am,
You may please.
how AI is going to deal with the pendency of cases in the courts? I am Biranchi Narayan. Please answer this if it is possible on your part.
I think if you have been there in the session, I did discuss that AI is going to help the judiciary for case management and court management. They are going to analyze and they are going to roster the cases effectively. So in that case, those cases which requires a due attention and which are there, which are there lying since decades, they can be given a first attention. And then what are the points which are when it comes to deciding these cases with reference to their decision making process. Again, the soup paste is getting used so that the decision making process can be more effective and speedy, unless except otherwise if there is a delay on the part of the advocate. Otherwise, when it comes to the decision making process and listing of those cases, that is getting being done through AI today.
One more question, ma'am. You
Now,
said the international conference. Sir, I have one more question to ask.
yes, you may please.
Ma'am, you said that India is going to organize the international conference on AI. Will it be open for all or expertise specific program?
I think it will be open for all. It
Thank
will
you
be
so
open
much,
for
Uh,
ma'am.
all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Namita Vyas Joshi, ma'am, Dean School of Law and Legal Affairs, to say a few words.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yeah. So first of all, ma'am, I would like to be sorry that I joined for 2 hours 3 minutes late. Uh, just because of that, I'm little bit confused whether from where I should join. So that is the only reason. Uh, I would like to start it with you, ma'am, only. Uh, just really be in touch with you. That's, I mean, without any formality, I'm going to be started. I'm really very thankful to you that you are here and you join here. It is really, it's kind of honor for me that it's a matter of personal pride for me that you are here. And as I can consider myself like that, we shared a kind of different academic bond with you. And it's really always inspired me, and you always guide me in a very well manner. Whenever I required, I called you, I text you, and you respond me very uh, well, and you guide me very, very well. So thank you very much, ma'am. And if I talk about particularly this session, so that was truly enlightening to each and everyone. And not only the participations, but I can think that the organizer, they are the some persons who are really, some are the principal from the different high schools are here. So they all are enlightening today. At the session where you talk about the Compass software, predictive justice was there. You talk about the analysis of the bail data and the relevant of the American realism you discussed. Your thought on provoking the reflections on the smart cities and the role of CCTV surveillance in the ensuring securities and accountabilities. These all the things in the every aspects with even though you give the information about the artificial intelligence and the conferences. So these every aspects of your talk has expanded the visions of that how the technology and the law is intersect in today's world. And you have beautifully highlighted the everything. It is about either about the opportunities or either we talk about the challenges, whatever is reminding us that justice must have always remained rooted in fairness, ethics, and human values. And the same thing that in my last session, Shri Santa Kumar sir said the same thing, and you said the same thing. Please don't avoid the artificial intelligence. Don't try to be an engineer. So these things were the common that you both dignitaries are said these things, and really we must learn this all the things. Apart from that, ma'am, I would like to say that your leadership and mentorship that is always in person apart from this session has always been very, very inspiring. always inspired me personally. Your presence today has not only enriched this FDP, but it is also motivated us to take forward this discussion in our teaching, research, and practices. So really, I thanks also, and Dr. Santosh sir is there. So this all the things, sir, you make the you just Dr. Santosh put a great effort for this collaboration. Uh, at the outset, I wish thanks to the Honorable Chancellor of Dr. Vikram Singh from Noida International University, my Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. Uma Bharadwaj name, and the university management, Dr. Devesh sir, Mr. Himanshu. That's their constant encouragement, support, and I extend my again my best wishes and my regards to the Vice Chancellor of Gautam Buddha University, Professor Dr. Rana Pratap sir. He is considering all kind of ignorance that we are making in the collaborations. So thanks to him again, and Dr. Divedi sir, Dean of School from Gautam Buddha University. Dr. Santosh Tiwari sir is there. So thank you everyone and my organizing team. That is the really very meticulous planning you are doing. So thank you very much, ma'am. And Purvi ma'am, please guide and bless us in every moment. We require your blessings.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words and motivating us. So, on behalf of the organizing committee of this faculty development program, I take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to ma'am for gracing today's session. Ma'am, your enlightening address on artificial intelligence in the justice delivery system, the implications of the new criminal law, and the use of predictive software such as the Compass system in the USA has been immensely thought provoking. Your reflections on search and seizure procedures, the prevention of crime, and how judges are increasingly using AI tools like ROS intelligence and have added remarkably depth to today's disclosure. Ma'am, your scholarly perspectives and visionary ideas will undoubtedly inspire both faculty and participants in their future work. Your reflections will not only guide us in academic pursuits, but also help us rethink the role of technology in strengthening justice system and legal scholarship, especially in the academics and teacher-student relationship. We are immensely grateful for the time you devoted to this session amidst your demanding responsibilities and for sharing your wisdom with such clarity and generously. Thank you once again, ma'am,
Thank
for your
you.
invaluable contribution to this program. Thank you to the dignitaries.
Thank you.
Thank you to the participants and all the faculty members from the Gautam Buddha University. Thank you all. So, participants, we have a 2 minutes of break. Then we will join with our. After that, we will join in session two. After 2 minutes of break.
Will there be another link or the same link will work, sir?
You can join with the same link, sir. I will share the link detail very soon in the group.
So nice of you. Thank you.
Thanks to you, sir.